Yo, what's going on, everybody? I just had time to make a quick video, and I just had this on my mind right now. So I wanted to share this message, about the narcissists and these gang stalkers, these witches, these warlocks, all of them, the bots, the NPCs, the evil people in your life, anybody just who's been trying to come against you in any way, shape, or form. Why they all switched up their energy all of a sudden? How and why everything just shifted in your favor? They were all big and tough, trying to intimidate you, for months, for years. When you were down low, they were kicking you when you were down, basically. And they knew this. They knew, based on information they got from other people, things they were told by other people, things they shouldn't even have known. But these people backstabbed you, betrayed you, and these people, they went out of their ways to try to find out things about you, and they try to study you and collect data on you, trying to, watch you every day. This could be coworkers, it could be family, fake friends, strangers, anybody, your neighbors, anybody, in your life, anybody that you deal with on any way, shape, or form or level, even if it's not on a daily basis, but it's somebody there that you got to deal with for some reason, and they may not even be directly related to you. You understand what I'm saying? But you got to deal with this person because of other people who are connected to that person. You understand? So they knew, however they found out these things about you, that you were not in the best position, right? So that made them feel powerful. These people are cowards and bullies. They're cowardice, and they tried to intimidate you. They tried to put on this front and this act as if they were all tough. Some of them try to act like they were gangster. They try to act like they were about that life, right? About that street life, and about, the guns and the action, and with the fist, they act like they wanted to throw down with you, right? But they knew that they could only act like that when they had the opportunity, right? And they wanted to keep you there as long as possible. And that's what bullies do. They want to keep you below them. They don't want you to rise up. That's one thing that these evil people who operate through these evil spirits all have in common. They all want you below them. So they don't want, that's why they do all these things, to keep you silenced, to keep you hidden, to keep you just in the background. They just want you to be like, if they can't get rid of you, they just want you to be like that background noise that you could barely hear in the background, somewhere way, way, way in the back, right? But for the chosen ones, you already know that we are the head and not the tail, right? So if you're ever in a position like that, it's just a matter of time before you get back up on your feet, before you get back in shape, before you start getting back on your grind, before you get your money up, before you get, your mind right, before you get right with God and all these things, where he needs you to be at that level, and to where you can level up to the next, right? And it's just a matter of time before your enemies get exposed for the cowards they really are, because when you come up, God doesn't play with you, so he will allow these enemies to try to linger around you in your life, however they do it, whether it's through social media or anything, just so they can kind of give you that motivation, because chosen ones never stay down for that long, and if we do, the longer we stay down, the bigger the comeback is going to be. And that's just the way it goes. So we are not the type to sit in a place of depression for a long time. We learn from our mistakes. We we pick and choose our battles wisely, because we know we could win every battle if we want to, but not every battle is worth winning. And that's just being honest. We don't need to waste our time trying to fight every single enemy for no reason when we don't even get nothing out of it. We already know we could beat them. So why are we going to waste our time trying to fight these little minions and these little battles that we know when we got bigger fish to fry? We got a whole war we're focused on, and these guys, you understand what I'm saying? They're focused on these little battles that they think is a war, but it's just a little tiny battle. And that's the funny thing about how these things work, because we are always operating 10 steps ahead, 100 steps ahead, 1,000 steps ahead, because God gives us this knowledge, not because of our own doing or our own wisdom, but this is wisdom from God and revelation from God that he's given us through his word and through his spirit of wisdom and revelation. So, many of these evil people, these gang stalkers, these witches, these warlocks, a lot of them, years ago, months ago, weeks ago, they were singing a whole different song and a whole different tune than they are right now. Some of them aren't even around anymore, if you catch my drift. And some of them, got removed, and God removed you from some of them too, perhaps, because he elevated you to a higher position, and I don't know who needs to hear this, but this is for somebody, and God's speaking to me right now through his Holy Spirit, and that God removed you away from certain people or somebody because he elevated you above them, and that put them in their place, and when these people get removed, it's because a lot of times they couldn't, some of them even removed themselves because they couldn't stand to see that you beat them at their own game. They were playing these stupid little games with you, wasting all their time, their energy, and their resources, going around trying to spread rumors about you, trying to gossip about you, trying to turn people against you. And all they did was waste their time. They wasted their breath. They wasted their energy just to accomplish nothing. They accomplished absolutely nothing, right? So, and you just basically stood there, and minded your business, and you didn't really even have to do anything because you already knew that how the enemy works. And you know that God is always protecting you, and he has his favor over your life. So you don't have to go around trying to prove yourself to anybody, and anybody who's acting fake or who's not your real friend you already know they're going to get exposed. So you don't need to overstep your boundaries or do any of those kinds of things. And because you already know it plays out the same way it always does. You come out on top because you got Jesus Christ on your side all the time. So just like the Bible says, he says in his word, greater is he who is in you than he who is in the world. So Jesus Christ is within you, and he's greater than anyone else who is in the world. So you have nothing to ever worry about or prove or to anybody or have anything to stress over, because you know that you always come out on top, and that's just the way it goes. So these people, they were really trying to do a number on you, and now because their whole plan fell apart, their groups fell apart, the flying monkeys fell apart, the narcissists fell apart, they all fell apart, they all look stupid, and they all know they look stupid, they all know they ended up looking dumb and foolish, they all know they ended up looking goofy as heck, and now they got to sit there. Some of them, now their punishment part of their punishment is they got to sit there and now they got to pretend like they were your friend the whole time. They got to basically play dummy. Now they got to play dummy now because they know exactly what they were doing. And now since the narcissists got removed, their little ringleaders got removed, now they got to sit there and they got to be nice to you. Now they got to sit there and be your friend. Now they got to sit there and try to make small talk with you. Now they got to sit there and try to help you. Now they got to sit there and act like they want to be your friend or act like they want to be cool with you, because that's what they get. Because they should have never tried to come against you in the first place, because they were ignorant and because they were dumb and naive to believe these little woodpeckers that wanted to go out pecking their beaks at every single tree they saw, at every second, every chance they got. They this is what they get for being a follower and not being a leader. You know, so this and that also is an indicator that you leveled up, because you were in that position where you made these little narcissists and these little ringleaders, you made them leave because they couldn't stand to see that you were leveling up and that you were about to rise above them, even though some of them may even have been in a position higher than you, and you were still above them spiritually, mentally, physically, in every way, shape, and form. And that's why they could not stay around you in your presence, because they would have crashed out. They would have lost it all, and you would have sat there and been trying to not laugh at them because of how silly they looked. You know, you would have had to sit there and trying to not, you know, make them feel, because that's not our goal. Our goal is to not it's not our goal to try to make them feel worse than they already do, because they're already in such a low position and vibrating on such a low frequency. Chosen ones have no business and no interest in wanting to try to make somebody feel lower than they are. We are called to bring people up, to lift people up, to motivate, to inspire, and to uplift others, to operate on a higher frequency, to get closer to God, to give their lives to Jesus Christ. That's what we do. We're not in the business of doing the devil's work. He does that to himself, right? So we don't sit there and take pleasure in these things, but sometimes some of it is a bit comical, you know, but that's not our goal, is to laugh at them, you know, and to kick them when they're down. They do that all by themselves, you know. They wanted to sit there and laugh at you the whole time. They wanted to sit there and bring you down and to make you look dumb and to make you look foolish, to put you through humiliation rituals. That's what they wanted to do to you. But we sat there and we could have annihilated them every day, every time, whenever we wanted. We could have ended it for them, all of it. And we didn't do any of that. You know, we could have told our side of the story. We could have, you know, told the truth. We could have spoke out. We could have embarrassed them. We could have done all kinds of strategic things that we know we are capable of, that they have no idea about, but we just allowed them to think we were not aware of these things by letting them think we're ignorant to what they're doing and just playing dumb sometimes. You know, that's what you got to do sometimes, is you just got to play their little you're not playing into their game, but really it's just the fact that you already know what game they're playing. And to be honest, you know everything that they know and much, much more, right? So because God has given us these revelations of how the enemy works, they don't have the revelations and the knowledge of how God works. The darkness cannot comprehend the light, but the light can always comprehend the darkness easily, right? So that's how we know what the narcissists are doing. We know what these evil people and these wicked spirits are doing and how they're operating through them. For the most part, God reveals it to us. you know? And no, we don't know everything, of course, that's not what I'm saying, but we know what God reveals to us and what we need to know. And so it's for our protection, so that we can still glorify God and live according to his ways. And anyways, I'm not trying to get off on a tangent, but they all switched up. Everything switched in your favor. And that's why they're not able to keep that same energy no more. That's why they're all trying to be that's why they're all quiet now. That's why they all fell back. That's why they all backed off, and all kinds of things. And that's not to say that they may not come back eventually. They're still plotting and wait, but they had to switch up now. They had to understand and respect you, and respect the fact that they messed up, you know. And so that's just the way it goes. We're never the ones who are worried and trying to worry about what we got to do next, because we already know how these things go. They're the ones always wasting their time, and they operate around you. They orbit around you. All of these, you know, bots and NPCs, these narcissists, they're the ones who are obsessed with you. You couldn't care less about them, but for some reason they just can't get over you. You know, they have a lot of jealousy, a lot of enviness, a lot of envy and bitterness towards you because of things that they got going on within themselves, you know, and that's just part of the truth. And they want to try to take it out on you because you're a chosen one. And just like how the world tried to take all their hatred on Jesus Christ, and he had to carry that cross for everybody, we got to take joy in the suffering with Jesus Christ and do the same thing. We got to carry our crosses too, you know, for the Lord and for our brothers and sisters in Christ and for his kingdom. So, you know, I may have missed some things, but for the most part, you know, just remember that you're just going to keep elevating, and all your enemies do is every time they try to attack you, every time they try to get a reaction, they're just making you stronger and wiser every time. So I hope this message blessed you, and feel free to leave a comment, you know, share, like the video if you want, subscribe if you want to, and God bless you, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.